Captain's Log, June 5th, 2026. Hello, I'm Captain Vile. Welcome back. Well, not welcome back. I'm just tired. Good on you, you've made it to Friday. There's the intro. Why are you tired, Captain, and somewhat out of it? Well, that is a long story I'll get into. After, you know what? No, actually, I'll talk about the movies later. I gotta talk about this. Just figuring out how to phrase this. I don't think there's any phrasing I could use other than just, I'm at the microphone and I'm a little drunk right now. So I was helping. Well, helping. I wasn't helping. I was just like, this is the project. But I'm doing an anti-gambling PSA for class, and part of that takes place within a bar, and I'm the main actor. So I'm in the bar, and the director wanted my friend. I was like, all right, we'll have you like drinking from a pint in some of these shots, and it was all of the shots. So, I mean, it's on me for, again, this same thing happened last year. I seem to have one event a year in which I get drunk. It's not as severe as it was last time. First time was I was doing drunk Monopoly at a party, and I did 2 to 3 shots of green apple flavored vodka on an empty stomach. Whereas here, I did maybe half a pint of really bad beer on, again, an empty stomach. I really got it. I didn't know I was gonna be like drinking at either of these events, so that's why I didn't eat. But it's not great to do that on an empty stomach. You get really, really disoriented. So, a little unprofessional, I'm aware. But I'm gonna record it anyhow. And even then, it's just half a pint of like beer compared to vodka. It's that's a bit of a difference. But part of the reason why it was so bad. So part of the PSA is that the main guy gets more disheveled as it goes on. So they put makeup on me to make me appear like hammered. And obviously I gotta like act hammered throughout the thing. So during the last shot at the bar, the guy gets mad and he like checks his phone, which I did, but I did like the case or whatever. And he like gulps. I was as physically asked, okay, instead of doing like a sip like you were doing earlier, just like gulp it down. So I like did it. I was like, the guy's mad, so he's not thinking. So neither was I. I just grabbed the half of the pint and like gulped it, and I threw it up with like such force that it spilled all over me. So, and also, it like. So I was doing this shot while sitting on the floor, because he's like, I don't know, he's not in a booth, whatever. It's not important. Point is, I was on the floor and kind of like hunched over. So when I poured it, the beer fell on like my torso and crotch. So I looked drunk because of the makeup. I've seen just downing half a pint. And now it looks like I've pissed myself and smells like I'm, like, wasted. I have to walk home. So, I have never, ever attempted to embody the mannerisms of a model citizen as much as I have on this particular walk home. I was, like, chest puffed out, like, chin held high, like, moving my arms, like, like hands in fists, like a politician soliciting houses for like potential voters, walking door to door. I was walking like a human being in control of their senses, because I was, but it didn't look like I was. Like, if I was stumbling, I think people would have called the cops on me. So I had to make very sure I was not stumbling. I was like, every focus was put into heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Just do not stumble. And then I immediately like showered and put my clothes in the wash. But fun about like afternoon, evening. It was like 5. But yeah, no. I've not gotten like a. I don't enjoy drinking. I don't enjoy how it like tastes. I never really get the appeal of. Why is this scrolling down? I have Letterboxd open so I can read the reviews of what I've I can pull up my reviews. And it keeps scrolling down. I don't have my hand on my mouse. It's weird. Whatever. Whatever. What? Excuse me. I lost my train of thought. God damn it! It's not professional, I apologize. I feel like that episode of Frasier where he comes into the show and he's not equipped to be at the mic. Oh well. It's in season 1. He has Niles take over for him, and Niles does a bad job for the first bit, and then he does really, really bad. And he does a decent job later on. Fucking ant, God damn it. Maybe if I wasn't doing that good a job, I just leaned over to get that. But I think the wind picked up because I leaned over in front of the fan. This will be an interesting episode. I edited a video in that example when I said the last year when I did like 2 to 3 shots of green apple vodka. I like walked home to my dorm and I just edited a video, and then it like really started to hit me while I was doing that. But with this, I didn't have to record anything. It was like 10 at night. With this, it's like, I mean, it's 8 now. Still, yeah. It should not have that much of an effect. Should it? I don't know. Again, I don't drink. I don't really have a frame of reference. And I'm never really around people who do drink. Like, anytime someone says, oh, do you want to go to like a bar or something, I'm just, no, I'm fine. I don't want to. It's expensive. It doesn't taste good. It smells bad. I still smell it in my, like, on myself. I took a shower. Like, a long shower. Still annoying. But I did ask my friend who insisted I not down it, but like do a gulp. I was like, what's the appeal of this? I really am curious. And he was just that, oh, it's like numbs you, I guess. Which I get people like drink when they're sad. But I suppose I don't get the appeal of drinking just as maybe a social event. I can only see. I wouldn't. It's not even anything I would do, but I could just see wanting to do it when you're in like a terrible spot. Oh well. I do believe that's all the explanation I have to give. A bit of a long preamble, I have to say, but a necessary one. It scrolled down again. Whatever. I watched The Backrooms in theaters. I wish I did not. The audience were morons, loud morons that were talking during exposition and then confused when they didn't understand it because they were talking during the exposition. But it was a good movie. I gave it 4 stars and a heart and said great cinematography it better by the practical set. The lighting is also well done. There's a part at the... It's because of the ads. That's what it is. What if I do it full screen? No, I don't know. It's just they do this annoying thing. They've never had that. They've not had the ads be this in your face before on Letterboxd, but now they are, and it's like it reloads the page and then it scrolls you down. The lighting is also well done. There's a part of the start of the third act that uses a lighting change quite well. The memory angle is... Let's scroll down. Is interesting. I apologize for all the interruptions. More so when the memory of the people is brought up. They're handled well and make sense of how the background sees them. A weaker part of the film is trying to tie the place into a character's trauma. And it makes sense to do that, but could have been done in subtler in places. Great atmosphere and a fun watch. So, cool movie. Just moving I have a sleeping mask I put on top of my fan because there's a blue light. Unimportant. Good movie. I enjoyed it. They made a practical set for it, which is pretty impressive. 30,000 square feet of yellow hallways. But yeah, watch it in theaters. And just annoying people. I heard on my way out a group of friends go, "Who was that at the ending? Who's that lady in the final shot?" Which is like a very minor, like it's what's the final shot? But it's like you're not gonna be spoiled by that. But it's just like, you goddamn morons! If you paid attention at all, there's a scene where I don't want to slip anything out, but it's just, if you go to the movies to watch the movie. Watch the movie! It's infuriating. And also, shut up during it. Alright. Now, my pick for this week's movie was Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which I also gave 4 stars and a heart. I said, impressive lighting and editing in this. The effects of the characters exiting memories is seamless and well done, as well as memories themselves fading. I like how it presented the time. The story was interesting. Seeing more of Clem in real world was nice, since most of what we see is Joel's perception of her through his memories. But the real world during the second act is irritating. Was irritating and almost comical with the relationships of the erasers. Because it's like... to paraphrase a character in Burn After Reading, which is everyone seems to be having sex with each other. The last thing I have to say, that part wasn't in a review, that was just me saying it. Last thing I have to say isn't really about the movie, but just weird seeing Mary Jane. The guy the Hulk is when he isn't the Hulk, and Frodo suck at their jobs. That's similar to, what is it, Pontoon? I think that's a food, not Pontoon. Platoon. The Vietnam movie. Similar, I wouldn't call it an issue. It doesn't, like, take away from the film. But it's just, like, there's so many recognizable actors in that movie. And there's not so many in this one, but there's, like, that's not Patrick, that's Elijah Wood. So I guess maybe it does take away from the film a little bit, but it's just weird to see. It's the benefit of having unknown actors in your story compared to, like, celebrities, because you're not going to see them as the character. You'll see them as, oh, this isn't, like, I don't know, Keanu Reeves is a famous actor. This isn't John Smith. This is Keanu Reeves, and he's in a sailor outfit or something. You don't see them as a character, you see them as them. Because they've been in so many stuff. Or I have another problem is, like, if they haven't done that many roles, but they have one massive role where it's like, I suppose in case of a more recent example, the Boys show, Anthony Starr, he plays the villain Homelander, and he's been in some stuff before that, but he's like, that's not him, that's Homelander. What's he doing in this show? Or a better one is, I guess a better one for me, is in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I don't know the actor's name. But he's the sheriff who stops them while their car was on fire, or after it was on fire. He plays Chuck McGill, and he's like, that's not a police officer. That's Chuck McGill. You're in the wrong occupation, but in the correct concept of the law. You're meant to be upholding it after the fact of the arrest, not during it. So, just always odd to see famous actors. I guess it's a double-edged sword having famous actors in your work, I suppose. I mean, I don't really. I doubt any famous directors or casting directors listen to this on their way to the studio or some crap. But I can still talk about it. It's, yeah, because Lost was, I'm talking about so many, like, shows and movies. I know I saved the shows and movies until after the explanation of why this show may be a little different than other shows, but I realize I'm talking about a bunch. Anyway, Lost took off pretty much like a storm because they had a bunch of unknown actors. This was like their breakout role. You didn't see them as the actors, you saw them as the characters. I think that's another case for From, which made by the makers of Lost. But the point is, you don't see the characters as the actors. You see the characters as the characters because you're unfamiliar with them. It's just if you see them over and over and again, it's a problem. So I guess it's maybe not. No, it is famous. That's stupid. Disregard that seed of a talking point I planted. Let it wither and die in the soil or some crap. I don't know. Try and focus on more unknowns in your. I don't know. That'd be an interesting thing. That's a bit of a paradox. Try and focus a bit more on unknowns. But they're unknown. How do you do that? You don't, you can't seek them out. You don't, type in who's been in the least amount of movies. Oh, let me see what this guy's in. You don't, look up, what's something no one knows? Now let's put our thinking caps on. Alright. I did want to, I meant, as soon as I saw this happened before I saw the backgrounds. But this event really stuck out to me. So I was coming home from the store at around 9 p.m. Or was it? No, it wasn't 9 p.m. I was coming home from work at, really late because I closed. And I think I've mentioned... It's been a while since I've mentioned my neighbors. But I think... frankly, I don't know what to think about them. I mean, they moved out, a few months ago. But I think someone broke in and stole their stuff. Because this happened, like I said, again, happened before I saw the background. So a few weeks ago, I was walking home, and I was walking up the driveway, not driveway, the little stairway. And how the houses are is they're next to each other, and the front doors see into each other. So when I go out the front door, what I see first is my neighbor's front door. So when I, walked up to the front door, and I could see my peripheral vision, their door was open at, late at night, and none of the lights were on. And I could just kind of, lean... I was, 5 feet away from it. I wasn't, going into their house. I was standing on my, the doormat, just leaning to try and look into their house, and it's identical to ours. It's the same template or whatever. But all their furniture is just thrown aside, and again, I know I'm hammering this home. All the lights are off. It's not a liminal space. It is not a cursed image. But it felt sinister. It felt like if curiosity got the better of me, if I jumped the waist-high fence that separated the two doors and, like, walked into their house, the door, which was ajar, would have, like, slammed shut, and I would have gotten, like, murdered by something. Not someone, something. It was, like, sinister and supernatural, but not, like, heavily. It had such an atmosphere. It was, like... It was like in that moment, I knew that the moment itself would remember me. The scene, as it were, had such so much atmosphere. It had like sentience, if that makes any sense. If that description, anyone understands that. It was so eerie. And that's what a lot of scenes in the backrooms are. I didn't focus on the horror aspect of the backrooms, more just the technical aspect. But it's a very well done horror movie with a neat found footage. Section in the second half. Another thing I spoke about some flaws in the Eternal Sunshine of the Sign. Did not speak about any flaws in the backrooms. There's a sanity jump. Or a time jump, but it could have been handled better. That's really all I have to say. That's why it wasn't 5. Really liked it, though. Interested to see what they do next. Probably something I'd rewatch, frankly. I don't rewatch enough movies. I should do that. I'm always going from one thing to the next. I should rewatch more stuff. I'll probably rewatch... You know what I want to rewatch? After Hours. I should do that. That's a good movie. Okay, now I am out of stuff to say. So, thank you for watching, and goodbye.